So very good. So very good morning to one and all. Welcome to VLSI class once again. So unit number 4. So in yesterday's class we discussed about input circuits, right? And different types of input circuits, IO circuits there. Okay. Now let's go to concentrate on output circuits and L noise. Okay. That means L into di by dt noise. That means voltage across the inductance. That is the wire. Voltage across the wire. Nothing but we can consider as the noise in this case. Okay. So let us consider what is the output circuit and how to reduce the L di by dt noise. Okay. Now let's see what are the different circuits we require here. Okay. Now let us consider once again. So as you know that, the output circuits of VLSI chips are designed to be tri-stable. Okay, the output circuits will be tri-stable. Okay, that is shown in the figure here. For example, just remember this is the output circuit. Okay, this is the tri-state. That means it consists of 3 states: D, Z, and clock. Okay, so therefore this is the output circuit of VLSI chips are designed to be tri-stable, right? As in the figure. So to implement this circuit by using transistors in the VLSI, so we are having this type of, this is the we are having 2 circuits here. One is known as this circuit. So, and second one is this circuit. Okay. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages here in these 2 cases? Okay. First of all, let us consider this is the tri-stable state, tri-stable output circuit. So it consists of 3 signals. One is input signal, output signal, and the clock signal. Okay, 3 states we are having. So now just observe here, this is the input and this is the output, and this is the clock bar and this is the clock signal. Okay, clock and clock bar is the same signal, we can consider a single input. Okay, so now just observe in this case. So we are having this output circuit consists of the AND gate and NOR gate, and these outputs of these NAND gate and NOR gate will be drives to the output transistors. Okay, the output transistors. So now just observe here. In this case, so how many number of transistors required to implement this logic, and how many number of transistors required to implement this logic here? Now to implement this logic here in this output circuit, we require, so NAND gate requires 2 transistors. Okay, because NAND gate requires total 4 transistors we require, 2 in the pull down and 2 in the pull up. Okay, similarly, because this is the 2 input NAND gate. So similarly here also the 2 input NOR gate, this is also requires 2 transistors in the pull down region and 2 transistors in the pull up region. Totally we require 4 plus 4 is 8 transistors. And already we are having the 2 transistors in the output stage. There is total is 10 transistors. That means 4 plus 4 plus 1, 2. There is 10 transistors. Similarly, we are having inverter here. Okay. So the inverter, that means the clock bar we are considered here. Okay. So that means this also requires the 2 transistors. Totally we require how many transistors now? Totally we require 12 transistors to implement this logic. Okay, 12 transistors to implement this logic. But come to the another circuit, we are having only 4 transistors. Okay, to implement this same logic, we are having 4 transistors. This is the output circuit. Okay. Now provided that, if the polarity is not, the polarity should be ignored. Provided that we will not consider the polarity. Okay, it may be complemented and uncomplemented. Okay, considered as a polarity will be ignored. So when the polarity is ignored, we are having, this is only 4 transistors required to implement this logic. To implement this logic, we require 12 transistors. But compared to the silicon area, okay, compared to the silicon area, so this circuit required, so this circuit here B, okay, the number B is there. The B circuit requires less space compared to the C circuit. Okay, just remember, see the difference here. The complexity in this case, the main important in this case, the number of transistors is very 12, but in this case, number of transistors are less. There is only 4, even though So this this circuit requires large space in the silicon. It requires the silicon area is very high in this case compared to this circuit because so just observe here the output stage we are having only 2 transistors, but in this case we are having 4 transistors in the output stages. So basically what we are assuming now, the output stages requires large size of transistors. Okay, the output stages requires large stage transistors in order to reduce the noise and also reduce the delay. Okay, to reduce the delay and also all this, that is the main important in this case, to reduce all these delay times. Okay, so therefore, and also source current and sink currents also have to reduce now in this case. So that is the main probability, main important thing you have to consider, because on the output stages you are having large spaces. Okay, large space, that means the largest size transistors are required in this circuit. But in this case, very small circuit, only 2 circuits you are having in the output stage. So compared to this transistor circuit, total number of transistors 12, even though this circuit requires less silicon area compared to this circuit. Okay, that is the main difference in this case. Similarly, such a demand on this case, such requirement demands high rate of change of current. Okay, this type of circuits requires high rate of change of current. That means we can consider it as a dI by dt. Okay, because so here what happened now in this case, this type of circuits requires large current. Okay, high rate of change of current. That means rate of change of current we can consider as a dI by dt. So this causes a significant on-chip noise problem. Okay, this high rate of current significance the high on-chip noise problem because of wire bonding. So the signals will be connected through the output pad connected to the wires. So every wire is having some inductance. So therefore, on-chip noise problem due to L dI by dt drop here. Okay, because of dI by dt is the current. Okay, that is a process through the inductance of the wire. So what happened? There is a drop in this case that can be considered as a noise signal. Okay, so this L dI by drop across the bonding wires which are connected to the output pad. Okay, this is our the output will be connected to the output. This is the output pad. So that means, so in this case we are having L dI by dt. L into dI by dt is the voltage drop across the inductors. Okay, which is having larger noise in this case. So that is the main important thing in this case. So our aim in this case, you have to reduce this dI by dt voltage, that is L dI by dt noise. Okay. So now in this case, how to reduce this L dI by dt noise in this case? Let us consider, for example, why we require consider here. Let us consider the case in which assume that let us consider the case in which the output capacitance is charged to voltage VDD. Okay, charged to a voltage VDD, that is 5 volts for example, and we are going to set the clock signal such that okay the NMOS transistor will be on condition. Okay, we can set the transistor such that set the value, that means such that this transistor is on condition. So whatever the charge, that means we are having the load capacity here and here, whatever the condition now in this case. So these capacitors will be discharges, that is sinks this current to the ground. Okay, discharges. So just observe here, this is the NAND gate. Okay, so in order to on this transistor must be off condition. When this transistor, pitch channel transistor, FET will be off condition, when the voltage at this point is high. When the voltage at this voltage at this output of the NAND gate is high, when the output will be high in this case, both the inputs will be 0. Okay, both the inputs will be 0. Okay, 0 0 you get 1, 0 1 also 1, 1 0 also you get high state. Okay, so therefore depending upon that, so we can consider that, because assume that when the clock signal is high, so this terminal is high, automatically you can consider if D is not whatever the voltage is in this case, assume that this voltage is 0. So the 0 at this point will be nothing but that logic, it depends upon this value here. So therefore, when this high state is applied in this case, so this is 0. Okay, this is 1 state, so the transistor is off. So in order to get this voltage is high here, so already this voltage is, this signal is 0 and the clock is set, that means 1. So this is 0. 0, 0, we are getting 1 in this case. So that means this transistor will be turns on and this is turns off in this condition. So that means whatever the output capacitance is there here, that is sinks its current through this transistor to the ground. Okay, that is the thing you remember here. For example, now let us consider the figure which shows the current waveform of this circuit. Okay, switching during the switching period. Okay, let us consider the circuit now here. So this is the waveform, typical output current waveform during the switching. Okay, this is the typical output waveform during switching condition. During switching condition, this is we are having two waveforms here. The solid waveform, that means this waveform is the realistic waveform, and this is the assumed waveform. Okay, this one is the waveform which represents approximated current waveform. So this is the approximated current waveform. This is realistic current waveform. Okay, so this is the current. We are going to write draw the current graph. The current and versus the time period. So that means here the current will be maximum when t is equals to ts by 2. When t is equals to ts by 2. So at t is equal to 0, it starts. At t is equals to 8, again goes to 0. Exactly at t is equals to ts by 2, it goes to high. That means this is called, we can call the I maximum. Okay, this is known as I max. For example, we can consider now here. We know that because the charge in the output capacitance is given by Q, that is equals to C into V. Okay, we are assuming that C into Q is equal to C into V. You know that formula. Okay, Q is equal to CV. So where C is the C load and V is the VDD. Okay, C is the C load and V is the VDD. And we know that the current I is equals to, the current is nothing but rate of change of charge, that is Q by T. Okay, assume that I is equals to Q by T. So from this you can get the charge that Q is equals to I into T. So therefore we are assuming now here current in this case is maximum at T is equals to Ts by 2. So I max into Ts by 2 we can consider here, I into T. Okay, I into T, I can be considered I max and T is equals to Ts by 2 is equal to C load into VDD. Okay, this is the equation we have to remember. Okay, and also we can say that so from this equation I max okay, I max into Ts by 2 is equal to C load capacitance voltage and VDD, that is equals to, we can find only I max now. Okay, for example, now just note down. So I max is equals to I max is equals to C load into VDD 2 into C load CL into VDD divided by TS, right? TS. So this is the value of the I max. Now let us consider the rate of change of, that is the maximum value of the di by dt. Okay, so this value must be greater than or equals to I max by Ts by 2. Okay, because just see, if you differentiate the equation IL, okay, with respect to T and make it, in order to get the maximum value, we are going to make it to 0. Okay, we are differentiating this value and substituting T is equals to Ts. So you'll get the value is equals to I max by Ts by 2. So assuming that this maximum value, di by dt is maximum, which is greater than or equal to I max by Ts by 2. Okay, now substituting the value of I max, now just see, I max by Ts by 2 nothing but 2 into I max by Ts. Okay, now substituting I max is equals to this value 2 CL into VDD by Ts. Substituting here, you'll get the voltage, the equation. So you get the equation. So this equation will be here, di by dt max, okay, greater than or equal to substituting I max value. So it is equals to T is 4 CL into VDD by TS square. Okay, 2S square. So remember that equation. Right. So now let us consider this is the equation. So di by dt max is equals to, which is greater than or equal to 4 CL into VDD by TS square. Okay, where CL is the load capacitance, VDD is the supply voltage, TS is the delay. Okay, time squared. Okay. Now, for example, if you consider C is equal to CL is equals to 100 picofarad, TS is equal to 5 nanosecond, then this value is, you will get 80 milliamperes per nanosecond. Okay, substituting these values here, you will get di by dt is equal to this much. Now assume that this is the current which is flowing in the output terminals, that is, which is connected to the output through a wire bond. So the bonding wire which is having the inductance is, assuming that the bonding wire is having the inductance is equals to 2 nanohenry, then the drop across this, so whenever the current, this current flow through this inductance, okay, this current flow through this one. So what is the value of the voltage drop now? Okay, L di by dt is nothing but the voltage drop across the inductance. Now there is value is equal to 160, how much? In 60 millivolts you get. Okay, the value must be greater than 160 millivolts you require. Okay, right, you got it now. So this is the required value. So if, for example, assuming that now in this case, this is the value of the voltage, the maximum voltage drop must be greater than 160 millivolts. For example, if you consider if the value of TS is reduced by 2, for example, if the value of TS is reduced by 2, so what happened now? The drop across the inductance is also increases by 4 times. Okay, it is nothing but quadruple. Okay, the drop across voltage drop across that inductance will be, there is noise will be quadruple. That means greater than, that means just remember when the T will be reduced to TS by 2. Okay, when T is reduced to TS by 2 in this case, okay, when TS is equals to reduced to TS by 2, so what happened? The drop across this one will be changes 4 times. That means the noise will be increases. Okay, so there is the main serious trade-off problem between the delay and the noise signals. Okay, delay time and the noise signal. The delay is reduced, so whatever the noise should be increases. Okay, how to reduce? No, then what is the method to reduce this L di by dt noise? Okay, we are having different circuit now in this case. Okay, so now just let's consider the different circuit. So we are going to so we are having another interesting circuit technique to reduce this di by dt noise. So this is the circuit. Okay, so this is the circuit. So it's similar to the first circuit. There is the first one. Okay, this one. Okay, this circuit only, but only difference is we are going to use the 2 extra transistors. We can call this 2 transistors at this point. Okay, so because of presence of these transistors here, so the noise will be reduced. Okay, the noise signal will be reduced. How the noise signal will be reduced now here? So that means before going to increase the clock signal, just remember when the clock signal is high or low, depending upon the conditions. Okay, before going to high state, so this transistor provides the voltage to both the gates of the transistor. Okay, to half of this VDD. Okay, that means we are going to design a circuit such that the voltage at this gates of the transistor will be reaches the value of VDD by 2. That is the half of the voltage. Okay, that is the condition you have to remember. So therefore, when this condition is satisfied, so what happened? The noise will be reduced. Before, remember, before the clock goes to high state. Okay, when the strobe signal is high, so what happened? So gate voltage can be pre-charged. That means pre-charged to VDD by 2 before the gate goes high state. So remember. So in this case, we are having the two transistors. This is the called the NMOS transistor by using a control to strobe signal. Okay, control the strobe signal here. So this is you basically this strobe signal is used to precharge the transistor, the precharge the gate potentials. Okay, this strobe signal is used to precharge the gate potentials of the last stages of the transistors to exactly midpoint between the initial and final output of the output state. Okay, initial and final potentials of the load capacitance you can say. Okay, because the load capacitance will be here, whatever the initial and final voltage, so that voltages will be exactly set at the midpoint of this initial and final voltage of the load capacitance. So the load capacitance will be final initial means it may be 0 or VDD. So it may be exactly half of VDD will be placed at this point. So there is like this we are going to reduce the LdI/dt signal. Okay. Similarly, another one is another technique in this case for resolving the output driver problem is to adopt the base drive circuit that sends only the changes in the date pattern. Changes in the date pattern. For example, we are having this is another circuit. Okay, so only it changes the date pattern. That means we are having the delay circuit will be implemented like this. So number of buffer stages we are going to increase, so that delay will be changes here. So depending upon that we are going to another condition. So another method in this case we are going to use the receiver circuit which senses that means this circuit senses and latches and then level shift. Whenever we require the level shifting, whenever the signal requires the TTL network, we have to change the level shift difference in data. Okay, so we are going to use this type of circuit. So next another circuit in this case, the total circuit, the internal input output circuit will be like this. Okay, the input output circuit will be this one. So the circuit diagram of bidirectional buffer circuit with the TTL input capability. Okay, that means you are having the input circuit. That means just observe whatever the data first circuit you are having, the D data, and you are having NAND gate and NOR gate. So this circuit, and also we are using a strobe input signal. So everything. So all these things we have to consider in this case. And we are using split trigger, whatever the input circuit. In the input circuit, we are assuming this is the production network and this is the split trigger network. Okay, to for level shifting. Okay, this is for level shifting. We are using this type of circuit, and this is the NAND. This is nothing but NOR gate, and this is the NAND gate. Okay, NAND gate and NOR gate, and then we are using inverter circuit E value, which is connected to here, and E bar is here. So, and this is the output drive circuit. Okay, so this is the output drive. So we are present in this output circuit. This is the internal circuit. This is the output circuit. Okay, so this is the structure will be given in this block diagram will be like this. The same circuit. So this is TS, and this is transistor logic circuit. Now to try this circuit here, and this is coming from the output pad. Okay, this point is coming from the output pad. So there is a level shift will be possible in this case. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram of bidirectional buffer circuit with the TTL input capability, and also the block diagram of this bidirectional buffer. Okay, so these are the structure in this case layout diagram of bilateral input output pad. The structural output pad in this case. So production of the diode will be like this, and production diodes, and also you have different type of input circuits as well as the output circuits. This is the layout diagram, and so that is about the today's class. So in the next class we will go for on-chip clock generation and distribution. Okay, just go to this one. This topic is very important from the examination point of view. The output circuit and LdI/dt noise. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen now.